welcome to UAT Time, within the United Countries special by First Ukraine. You can find us on the frequencies available on our website, firstua.com. I'm Sergey Velichanskiy.
And I am Olivier Vedrine. UAT Time is dedicated to bring Ukraine and Europe closer to each other by introducing the real Ukraine to the rest of the world.
This time, we're going to have a good time.
Our guest today is Brian Borner, chief editor of Kyiv Post.
Welcome.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Thank you for stopping by for a cup of tea. And this is Kyiv Post, just in case you didn't know what that is. And this is actually, if you want to know what is happening in Kyiv and in Ukraine, this is what you need to look for.
Yep.
Actually, it's not only in the printed format, right? It's on the internet. So people all over the world can sign up to it, right?
Yes, as a matter of fact, our print copy is only 11,000 weekly.
Oh.
But our 75% of our audience is abroad, online. Most of our audience is online. And so that's really the place where the readers come nowadays.
All right, because I thought that, Kyiv is flooded with Kyiv Post. At least the places I go, that's where it is.
We try to have a good distribution, but you'll see them in the center, the big business centers, restaurants, hotels, and so forth. So
maybe it's me that I go to the right places.
You're going to the right places.
Yeah, that's why.
Glad to hear.
All right.
The hot places.
Sounds good. Yes. Now, well, this year is 20th anniversary, so you've gone quite a distance as the magazine, and there are some interesting parts of the history that Wikipedia knows.
Right.
And so I kind of
studied up on us.
Yeah, a little bit. So the American Jetsanden started the magazine in 1995, somewhere there. That was the first
Exactly.
owner. Okay.
Exactly.
So then the magazine's owner was Mohammed Zahur.
Right. He bought in 2009, 6 years ago.
All right. So with that period of time, there's some interesting cases, events took place when you were even once or twice fired from the magazine.
I've been fired twice. Yes.
Twice.
Quit once, fired twice.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
But I'm back.
Okay, you are back.
Still there.
Terminator. This is Terminator. This was the back.
Yes, I'll be back. Okay.
I'll be back.
Now, what's the current status of the magazine? Ownership and.
Well, we're very grateful and happy to be alive. 20 years in business in Ukraine is not an easy task.
Exactly.
And we've been, we owe it all to the readers, the advertisers, the subscribers now who are subscribing to us online. And I think we've found the niche. We hope so. Every day in business you have to keep proving yourself. But we've been fortunate to have only two owners, two good owners. The founder, who's an American, and the current owner, who is a British citizen. Mm-hmm. And they've kept on the traditions of investing in the paper, of editorial independence, and these are the standards and traditions that we feel obligated, the current staff, to carry on into the future, because a lot of people help get us to where we are now, and we certainly want to keep it going forward. We think we have an audience. It's changed. I think in the beginning we had mostly expats when Ukraine was supposed to be the next hot thing after the collapse of the Soviet Union. And so we had, actually even, that was before the internet was popular, the heyday of advertising, we were doing actually even, better in financial terms. It changed over the years as advertising scattered over the internet. And now I would say, half of our print readership is Ukrainians, English-speaking Ukrainians, and that's changed. So I think it's about 50-50.
All right. In the course of especially probably 2 years since Euromaidan and on, well, actually even before, you have always been quite, that's the way it looks, quite objective. If the authority does it right, then you do give some compliments. but if the authority doesn't seem to be doing or go in the right direction, you're quite critical in some terms. How do you manage to keep that balance?
That's a good question. That's our hardest, and I'm glad that when you read it, you look at it as objective, because that's what we strive to be, although that might be a hard thing to achieve because everything is subjective in life. We try to be fair, we try to be balanced, we try to be both sides.
But it doesn't look like you have a certain agenda. That's what the good thing for me.
Well, as our publisher recently said, we had a nice 20th anniversary party. Every government thinks we're opposition. We're not. We are.
Every government.
We took critical stances when we think they're warranted. But I think one of the best things that we've done is that we've not gotten partisan. We've not aligned ourselves with any political forces. We are just, whether we're right or wrong, you're going to get an honest point of view on the opinion pages and fair reporting on the news pages. Doesn't mean we're not tough. It's sort of like a tough love thing. We think that in a democracy, you have to have robust free speech. That includes robust criticism. And sometimes we've gotten kind of in trouble for this, but we're still alive, and I think it's because our readers want us. The diplomatic community, the business community, the tourist community, they have gone to bat for us and fought for us over the years, and I think that helps because they say, keep doing what you're doing, don't take one side or the other, tell us what you think, report it the way it is. And that's what we try to do.
But I really agree with you. When I saw this newspaper, and when I am read this newspaper, I can see the newspaper like we have in Europe, European Union, or in USA. You have the same way of thinking, independent, try to be objective, and for me this is really. I think in Ukraine you are not allowed to work like that, and that's very interesting because when I want to have a really objective information about what's happening in Ukraine, I go to Kyiv Post or to other newspaper as your newspaper. But this newspaper, Kyiv Post, for me, does come from Washington Post or something like that.
I don't even think I worked for Jed Sundin, the first owner, but I can't remember. I think Post was a common name for a newspaper. I don't think it may not have been the best name because it doesn't translate so well, but it's our name, it's our brand. We're very proud of it. I don't think we're going to change it. But
I don't see
because the first time I saw this newspaper, I say, this newspaper come from U.S. diaspora or what? Because that was really like U.S. or European Union newspaper, the same organization.
No, we're one of the many Posts, I guess, newspapers in the world. But I think what set us apart was, listen, guys, how the media ownership is structured here. It's mainly an oligarchy, and these oligarchs use their media outlets as political influence, as political tools to promote their causes and businesses and to punish their enemies and do that. And they lose money. Free speech is not their big priority. Making money is not their big priority. Their big priority is holding on to big media outlets that where they can influence. And we also, sadly, some people practice this jinza, where you disguise, somebody pays you for an article. We still get offers, people saying, can you write us how much for a good article about us? And we have to explain advertising is advertising, and when you buy that, we label it advertising, and you can write whatever you want. And news is news, and you can't write whatever you want. It's it's what the journalist, thinks is the way to present the issue or the person.
But you journalists in Kyiv Post, they are foreigner for a large part, or Ukrainian?
Mostly Ukrainian.
Mostly Ukrainian.
There's actually, we have about 35 people now. We're very fortunate to have continued, support of the community to have this size of staff. About 23 people in editorial, 12 people in commercial. There's only 5 expats, native speakers, because we need a few native speakers to make it read, properly like a native language paper, because you know, as you guys are multilingual, you know it's very difficult to write outside of your native language
Yes.
because your brain is just so wired into your native language in terms of the written word. So we're multilingual, multinational staff, but primarily Ukrainian. We're a Ukrainian newspaper with a Ukrainian staff.
And I want to ask you, because you are in Ukraine from how many years now?
Oh, first time 1996, almost 20. This last time, I've been chief editor again since 2008, but I was first chief editor in 1999. So it's 20 years coming and going.
And what is your analysis about all the change we have in Ukraine now? What you think, because you are like a witness of this
I feel
change.
like it. I feel like it. And you know, I don't know, you came here very early, right?
Yeah, the first time that was in 1994 when I was a student.
And you're native.
Me? Yes, yes, I am.
And
I've
so
been here all the time.
You see it all. And it was such a shock for me when I came here for the first time. And this is why I can say, you know, journalists are critical. People think we're pessimistic. We see all doom and gloom. Actually, that's not true. Compared to 1996 when I first came here to today, Ukraine has made a lot of progress in so many ways. We want it to be better. We want it to be more. We obviously still have some of the same problems, like many nations do. And we would like to see Ukraine, because of its specific history, geography, and political situation, has even more complicated issues than many other nations. But, you know, by and large, I can tell you that, I mean, compared to the Kuchma days and the Lazarenko days, we are relatively doing much better, and free speech is much better. We still have that problem with trying to get the economy booming, going, growing, defeating corruption, oligarchy, establishing rule of law, and that hinders the media. I mean, we need to be to be truly independent, you need to be financially sustainable. And most media outlets are either dependent on an oligarch or dependent on grants, and it's not a good situation. So the media is just a reflection of things that are going on in the broader society. But I tell you, compared to the neighborhood, I wouldn't trade places with anybody. We're much freer than Russia, and Ukraine, in that sense, is headed in the right direction.
Yeah, basically that's the question I had. It's good that you touched that. As far as I know, Moscow has always been kind of ahead of Ukraine in the English media, like Moscow Times and others. Do you know anything? How are they doing in Russia?
I tell you, I was shocked. I was a longtime reader of the Moscow Times, worked in Moscow, lived in Moscow, but they've gone from, this is a city of 12, 14 million people. Moscow Times is now going from daily to weekly. You know, with Putin's change in laws that ban foreign ownership of media, it's now in Russian ownership, and I don't think it has a bright future. I think it has a dismal future as a business and as a outlet of independent journalism. It's sad that Russia's going the other way on freedom. And but we're going to capitalize on it. We've already hired 2 people from the Moscow Times, and we've got a couple columnists who used to write for the Moscow Times. And so Russia's loss is Ukraine's gain.
Well, yes, a lot of journalists now are Russian journalists came to Kyiv. A lot of them.
Right.
Well,
for press freedom.
They want to taste the air or smell the air of freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
well,
I think they will close Moscow Time. They will close this newspaper.
Well, unless they
maybe next year
shape it up in a comfortable package.
I don't see a future really in a. If it becomes a propaganda outlet, I don't see how advertisers would want to advertise in something
unless
like that.
Unless it's sponsored from the budget.
Unless it's sponsored
to make a good look. That you see, we have
like Echo Moskva, the radio station, that makes it look like there's free press or free speech.
Yeah,
it has been, but there's some questions now, and there are actually some of their radio journalists are abroad, basically living in exile and broadcasting there.
As the magazine, you are behind some interesting projects pretty much every year. Like one of them took place in October, Kyiv Post Employment Fair. You have this article, gives boost to job seekers, and you've done it for quite a few years.
Yes, I think more than 10 years.
Okay. Basically, from the outsiders, I heard that it's quite a big, very vital, very interesting thing in the life of Kyiv, where people can really get some good, get in touch with good employers. So what's this idea for? Why are you behind this?
Well, we have a few signature events. This is one of them. And I think it evolved because we used to have a very robust, when the economy was more robust, employment ad section. We had international organizations, businesses, many of them sought English speakers, so naturally they would advertise in the Kyiv Post.
Yeah.
So the employment fair grew out of that, where we would twice a year, fall and spring, put on this, выставка, the fair
Exhibition,
for the
yeah.
exhibition, where we have 25 to 50, depending on the market, employees, or employers, and match them up with the employees. And it's a really good event. We've added, I think we've improved recently by getting expert speakers in particular industries or government, human resource specialists to talk about how to put together a CV, what to put on the CV, what to leave off the CV, how to get a job interview, how to negotiate for salaries, things like that, things that people need to know.
Yeah, that's very good, because remember, we talked about that with Jean-Jacques Hervé,
Yeah.
the French banker. And they say, in Ukraine, we need concrete projects, concrete things.
Right.
And we are speaking now is concrete. You need to show to the person how to do a CV, how to find a job, how to develop a company, how to sell, how to buy, and it's really a good event.
But this employment fair pretty much even goes much farther, because it puts together job seekers and the employers. And
That's really a need in Ukraine because of the management way in Ukraine, very post-Soviet management. This is really good to do this event, because you destroy all the post-Soviet system with this event. That's very good.
Well, let me tell you that I know several of my friends that have found some good jobs due to this. So
we're grateful.
Yeah,
we're playing matchmaker in that sense.
yes, actually, yes.
Yeah. Because it's not easy for a man to find the what can I say, the chef deputy of a company or the boss of the company, this is in this Soviet attitude. This really efficient to organize those events.
How do you find it? How easy it is to maintain self-sufficiency of the magazine, or is it really a possibility, self-sufficiency, or is it just a dream?
Well, our fate is tied to Ukraine's economy, and that's not good. We used to be very profitable, so profitable that a lot of people now forget, but the history is that the Kyiv Post was Jed Sunden's first, but then he started Correspondent and Big Mir and many other titles that became more profitable, and then the Kyiv Post became just a small part of that. When the global crisis hit, we got wiped out. And Jed put us up for sale, Mr. Sunden, and fortunately Mohammed Zahor bought us. We're still trying to move back to profitability, but we're still losing money. So we do events, conferences, employment fairs, organize different events. We have our advertising. I think we're the first newspaper or news organization that charged paywall for online. And so little by little, I think we're going to restore it. But we still have our employer's investment subsidy, if you will. And we formed a nonprofit, and this is the future. I mean, this is part of media financing now. We have a nonprofit media development foundation that specifically goes after grants, and we've been successful to some extent in getting people who want to support independent media in Ukraine and don't really want to give the money to, other privately owned stations or oligarch-owned stations.
Sure.
So we've been very fortunate, and I hope our good fortune continues.
And from where those grants come from? From EU, US, Canada?
Yeah, there's been, especially since the Euromaidan revolution and the war, there's been interest from different donors through U.S.-funded projects, Canadian-funded projects to support different journalism positions, support coverage, give a travel budget so that we can go to the war front and so forth. Things that we wouldn't otherwise normally be able to do.
Yeah.
Okay. And the Media Development Foundation is devoted to, one of the biggest donors is the Danish Foreign Ministry. They give a percentage of their budget every year to democracy development.
Whoa.
Media is included under that. So they're supporting a lot of programs, and I'm a regional coordinator for one of their programs in investigative programs, objective investigative program in Belarus, Ukraine, and Moldova. And so our Media Development Foundation, which is founded by Kyiv Post journalists, promotes investigative journalism, training, and exchanges, where we send journalists, journalism students go to work for, different news organizations, TV, radio, newspaper, just trying to promote the profession, which needs promoting and needs financing.
Yeah, and with finance, you will be independent, and that's good.
Yes.
Well, and I want to say that as far as UAT time goes, we'd love to be part of whatever you guys do. If there is anything we can do and in partnership to make things even better, then we'd love to.
The more the merrier. President Poroshenko said this is going to be, all apologies to the French, it's going to be an English-speaking nation next year, right? And so the more the merrier.
This is the only French that's speaking English. So.
Yes, because in France we don't like to speak another language than French.
We
know
Of
that.
course, it's so beautiful.
Yes, we know that.
But I spent my childhood in South Carolina, USA, and Canada, and that's why.
But see, it's an example of where Ukraine is going. Ukrainians are open to the world. They don't require visas for you to come here. They're interested in speaking many languages. It's a big contrast to some of our neighbors to the
That's
east.
true. Well, it was a great joy that you came to
Thank
see
you
us.
very
and,
much.
It's going to be...
Thanks, guys. That flew
exciting.
by fast.
Yeah. 25 minutes flies fast when we have good
as
guests.
always.
Yes. It was United Country UAT time, but first Ukraine. Our guest was Brian Bonner, chief editor of Kyiv Post.
Olivier Vedrine and Sergey Velichanskiy were working for you in the studio. Stay with us and we will show to you the real Ukraine.
Thank you for being with us. Have a good day and see you soon.